subject, or do we have to? Okay. The next item is an update on pending.
Wait, quick.
Yes, of
Real
course.
quick.
Of
Let me
course.
just, real quick.
Yep.
For that item, legal counsel, it was on the agenda. Do we just need to, what are we establishing, that he is the legal counsel, or that we're choosing him?
You know, management company
For the
changes.
time being, if he is in fact our legal counsel, Adrian, you're a lawyer, but I'm just going to, if he isn't for the time being, or has been our legal counsel for the time being, would it be wise to say we'll just maintain
I
that?
just wanted to know why, it's
Right.
on, so it's on the agenda, just as if we're just stating that as of today, he's our legal counsel.
He is our legal
That's what-
counsel, and I suppose down the road, if we
That's why
wanted
it's
to,
on
we
the
could
agenda?
say, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing for us to do except to
No,
say
it
that.
doesn't say anything
that's-
other than just legal counsel.
we are.
So we've discussed that it is.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, can we move on? The next item is an update on pending litigation, Ken Sapolsky, et cetera.
And we can't.
No,
That's-
but I would like to I'm going to just say something about this before I make a motion regarding this. And I think this is very important, and I just want to say it before I make the motion.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion, this is a fact.
Oh, okay, oh, all right.
It is absolutely a fact, and it's a fact, that Valerie is a completely legal member of this board. She was duly elected, and the fact that there's a lawsuit involved has absolutely nothing to do with that. So people that are walking around, and I've had them come to me and say, oh, there's a lawsuit involved. They don't know what they're talking about, you know. It doesn't matter. She is, in fact, a member of the board. In addition to that, she's been a fabulous member of the board this week. I don't know what we would have done without her. And lastly, I just want to say that she's agreed, as appropriate, that when and if this subject comes up for the new board, she will recuse herself from the process. End of story. I mean, let's not make a drama when there is
Okay.
none, okay?
Good.
And so I would
As
like...
we all would have to.
What, sorry, Adrian?
As we all would have to for any matter.
Yes, of course.
We all have to recuse ourselves by conflict of interest.
We'd all have to do that.
For anything that directly
Correct.
affected us individually.
Correct.
No different.
Okay.
But there's nothing that precludes somebody from having a lawsuit just because they're on
Correct.
the board, okay? So please, if somebody tells you that, please set them straight. This is not my opinion, this is a fact, okay? I'd like to make a motion to table that item.
Let's table.
Oh, it's tabled,
Yeah,
we tabled it, we
Yeah, that
tabled
was
it.
Yeah.
Most of us don't know what you're talking about
Yeah,
anyway, so
that's
just
what I
table
was
it.
gonna say.
No
Okay.
clue what you're just talking about.
Okay.
Seconded.
So, I'm not in the rumor mill here, so I don't know what's going on. in
Seconded
that.
it.
Who seconded the tabling of it?
Yeah, we don't have
Right.
to second it, it's just table.
Okay, I second it.
Yes, we do, for each motion, but
She
following
wants to-
Robert's rules.
She's following Robert's rules and
Okay.
wants to keep a
I
note
want
of
to
all
table
this.
it.
I agree, I think we've all agreed to table it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Agree.
okay.
Who seconded it?
That was,
Okay.
I said.
Thank you.
okay.
Waiver
Okay,
of late fees.
and as for what we're talking about no, in terms of what we're talking about, Janet, it's what's listed on the agenda, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know any background on it. When
We're
you
not,
said the rumor, I know
we're certainly not
I
gonna
have
get into that,
no
but
idea what you're
that's,
talking about, so.
but we're talking about what's listed on the agenda, that's all.
We're following the agenda that was provided for
Correct.
us, so that's what we're going through. We can't act on that because it's not the agenda we developed.
No.
Gotcha.
We had to go through
It's what was
because that was
posted.
what you were given notice of. So in terms of, and another thing about the litigation, we wouldn't be open to speak about open litigation. That's not appropriate for a public meeting. So just adding that to it.
End of that story, okay?
Waiver of late fees.
Waiver of late fees.
Well, my thought is that for the month of April, since we have such a change going on, that for April, we just waive the late fees. However, as soon as May comes around, late fees are reinstated. Late fees are reinstated for also the assessment. Because once we establish a date for the assessment, whatever dates they are, if it's a one-shot payment or if it's a two-shot payment, if you're late, you get the $25 fee. And the way the policy reads right now is, unless we change it, is that you get one free late fee a year. And that's it.
So when you do the assessment, you say the late fee, that's due in so many days, or, okay.
Yeah, that'll all be spelled out.
Okay, that's great.
That'll all
Thank
be
you.
spelled out. So if it's, if we decide that it's going to be, April 30th, then, you know, that's the first, and then, you know, 5 days afterwards, then the late fee comes in. Okay? Obviously, we want to get that money into the reserves, back into the reserves as quickly as possible. So we're not going to stretch it out for months.
Regarding late fees, since it says waiver of late fees, I just wanted to ask my fellow board members, because of this transition time right now, which is rather, you know, we don't have a property manager at the moment. I guess my question is, if we're not unable to, you know, make note of the fact that people have paid on time for this month.
You've got the pile of checks up there.
Well, we do, but I mean, are we gonna be able to go through that? Can we do that by April? What is the date? April 15th it has to be done? Should we give some leeway because of this transition and
We
there's no
said
one?
we'll waive it for April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Oh,
waived
I
it for April.
misunderstood.
Yeah,
And we
we'll
waived it for April,
April.
great.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't understand that. I
Yeah,
get
and
it.
I second that.
I do
second
too.
it.
I agree completely, yes.
I second that also.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think that once we get the
Okay.
management company on board and they can take and sort through it,
Right.
that's just how it's gonna be.
Okay. And that comes to item J on your list here, which is free parking for River Terrace and Bend, or ...
I make a motion that they keep free parking because I don't think we need to be petty. We're supposed to all be working together. I mean, it's a community of a lot of people, and I think we can work together instead of being picky about a bunch of stuff that's nonsense.
Are they paying now?
Yeah, free parking where? In our
I'm not
guest
sure
house?
what this relates to.
That's something that we have to look into, you know, how many people are paying for parking spaces? And then, you know, go from there. We don't have access to that. I'm sure that's in the computer, you know.
Robert?
Yes.
Robert?
Yeah.
What
Yes,
this
Frank.
pertains to is that River Terrace asked our last management company if they would be able to take and have some of the construction workers
I see.
park
Yes.
over on the north wall by Heather.
I thought that's what it was
Yeah.
related to, Frank.
That
Thank
That's
you.
what it pertains to.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is that if that's the case, then the people that's got those boat trailers and stuff over there are gonna have to move them.
Right.
But there's some places there that these people can park that, I mean, I don't see any reason why they'd have to take and pay to take and park there on this construction because it's gonna take a year. I mean, why not work together?
Yes.
To do
You know,
what?
I mean, we're gonna have construction there also. We've got
Frank?
a lot going on here.
Correct, Frank, and I just want to, because I can see people wondering what we're talking about here, so let me just tell you that River Terrace is about to start a very big and very noisy project of, you know, where they have to correct things to do with the construction of the building and the balconies. We don't need to know the details of that. It's going to be going on for a very long time. It's going to be very noisy, and there will be construction workers coming on the property, which is why we're probably talking about this parking issue. And you know, I'm sure for some people it's not going to be a fun time because, you know, they have to only work during certain hours during the day. But nonetheless, you know, it's going to be an inconvenience for some people, particularly those who live right up against where River Terrace is located. And, you know, we might as well just be aware that that's happening. They have to do this by law. They have to have this, after the Surfside mess and all that, this has to be done. So just heads up, we're going to be dealing with that.
And that's why the north gate is open, because Craig is opening that gate up so that the construction workers have access and they don't have to come around
Right.
to 1, 2, or 3.
So that's gonna be open
So
from 8 to
that's gonna
5.
be open during construction time, so that the workers can get right down there.
While we're talking,
Construction hours are between 8 and 4:30, and that's when he's gonna have the gate open and closed.
Right,
That's what's already been established.
right.
while we're talking about the gates, the other 3 gates are open?
Yes, that's
The
how
entrance
they're
gates?
They're closed now.
Oh, they're closed now?
Yes. The fire marshal was here, and whoever, ADI or whatever they're called, they were here, and now the gates are
They're working.
working.
That's- they're all
It's
working.
open. They were working as of, what time? About 3:30, 3 o'clock.
Today?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic
Oh, okay.
news. I didn't even.
Yeah.
Is the work gonna affect, I park here, is the work gonna affect all of us that park here
I
right by the
don't
clubhouse?
know. That's a very good question.
Yeah, it's gonna be
We might have to reaccommodate some people. I don't know how, I don't
And I
know.
park here, so
But
I'm
it's a
curious.
valid question, I sure don't know, because you are right very close to where.
There's 4
that's-
owners that park there, the rest
I
are guests, yeah.
know, I know, this is something we should probably address.
Yeah, in time, we'll
Well,
get there,
there'll be
we'll all
some,
get there.
well, there'll be some people that are leaving, you know, for the season too, so those parking spaces will open up.
The 4 owners here, we're all here year-round, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the guests,
But I meant-
yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, so,
Yeah.
I get you, yeah.
Okay, so there
Yeah.
might be some other places that'll open up.
Okay.
So,
That's it.
that's that.
So for the free parking with, Frank made a motion to allow it.
Is
I
that,
make a motion for the free parking to be free parking.
I second that.
For the workers?
For the workers.
So limited to a certain area or just everywhere?
No, to limit it to a certain area. They're limited only to
I'm
where,
for it. Anyone against?
Well,
Just-
River Terrace asked for permission to park their construction people on the north wall.
Right.
That's all they asked.
okay.
Which
The
is by
north
Heather.
wall.
which is, yeah, facing the gas station part of
Right.
things, right? So,
Right.
that's what we're talking about, not free parking for everybody
No,
everywhere.
it's free parking just for the
For
construction
that, yes,
workers.
exactly,
Right.
so, and.
And only during
Exactly.
hours.
So,
Not-
based on that, I second the motion, yes.
During the construction hours.
Right.
Right,
So they
Okay.
can't start, so they can't hang out after 5 o'clock and have a beer party back there?
no,
No.
no, and they can't make.
Just
and-
checking.
Well, no, and more, even more importantly, they cannot make noise after 4:30 or before 8 o'clock. That's gonna be a big deal as it goes forward, so you should know that, you know, and if they do, just thinking, hey, stop. All right, so,
Right.
yes,
We can, we can just any other business.
yes, but did we get all of that, Adrian?
Yep, got everything.
We had the motions.
Yes, and that was that unanimous?
Yes.
Okay.
Tony has a question.
In regard to the management company, that's fine, you're looking into it. We had looked into them,
Who?
the prior board. We interviewed a few of them. I strongly recommend you read those contracts very carefully.
That's a very good point.
I would also recommend, before you jump from the frying pan to the fire, you think about potentially hiring an individual. For the simple reason, I don't think you understand, when you sign those contracts, you give your power away, yet you are still responsible. So if the manager doesn't show up or whatever, you know, you still have to do whatever. When we looked into it, they take certain items such as the interview fees and the estoppel fees, and they charge whatever they decide. The association loses that. The association, even though they will tell that you have to sign every check, they do have authority to remove money out of the account.
Yep.
Well, those are questions, Tony, that we'll make sure
Yes.
that we ask.
We will be asking.
Well,
Okay.
that's why I'm saying, before you jump from the frying pan into the fire, you may wish to look for an individual who can run an office, who may decide to look forward to get a license to be a manager. You will have more control over it than you will with the management
I
company.
just want to point out, and I understand, and that sounds like a good idea, but if I recall correctly, you and Peg interviewed people for 2 months, and you came up with, you could not find somebody. In fact, the 2 that you were hoping would work out had felonies, and then there was somebody who was going to be an intern, and that didn't work out. If you couldn't find somebody in 2 months, how are we going to find somebody in just a short period of time?
Well, you could go, we didn't go to an employment agency. We did this,
I think this is appropriate with the former manager and the board as opposed to a public discussion.
Well, Tony is a member, he does live here, and we took questions from other people.
He's
Let's not
spoken
be,
to as the former manager.
That's
Yeah,
all
but
right,
he's-
he's got knowledge.
But he
he's
has
allowed
the
to ask a
knowledge.
question.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with him
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
a question. Let's not.
Yeah.
so you do as you see fit, but of course, if,
Thank you. No,
You know,
I,
They should care.
point
you'll
taken.
find out, we had a manager for a while at Middle River
Oh,
Club.
we know that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on here. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes.
Point taken. Next point is any other business. Any other business?
I have a question.
You have a question?
Yes. Peg, I think is your name?
No, I'm Helen.
This is
Oh,
Helen.
Helen. You mentioned a couple of minutes ago that there were various or multiple checks in the office.
Yes.
And that just concerns, or I just want to know if some checks have been received and deposited?
No,
because-
not yet. That's going to happen this week with Valerie. She's going to go to the bank and she's going to establish an account and we're going to get those checks deposited.
That concerns me because I have given my check on April 1st, or I think on the 31st, and on April 1st, it went through my bank. It's here. I can
Okay.
show it to you.
All right.
So that is a concern. If no checks have been deposited and we who paid on time, the check has already been
Yeah, well-
withdrawn.
That's bank automatic payment. They're talking about checks that go through the slot.
Yes.
Oh, the checks that go through the slot are upstairs. They're.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
The
think
one
that's what she's talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
You put it through the door?
Yes.
Yes. And yours is already run through?
Already, April 1st. It's here.
I put mine through the door too.
And did it run through?
I haven't checked.
Oh, I check my account
I probably
every
did.
day.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
We have to
would you
look
like to
into
make a
that.
note of that, Valerie? And
Yeah,
then
we'll look into
we'll
that
look
for
into
sure.
that.
Who would have had the key to get in there?
Martha Rios, 401A, and I'm happy to talk with you after the meeting and give you a screenshot of what I'm referring to.
Okay.
I'll make it easy for you. I worked that Monday, and I took care of all the checks that came in.
The ones that came in.
So whatever was there
Okay.
and whatever bills
End
had
of
to be
story.
paid.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Tony.
Yeah, it's not a mystery, obviously. I took care of, you got the office in very good shape.
Yes, we did.
Right.
Touched on rumors.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tony.
Tony.
To the next issue.
Yeah, any other business? Do we have other business?
Well, so-
Sorry.
So we'll check out the checks that are up there, and we have a list of, tenants, owners, and we can check off this person, who has the check up there. We can do that.
Okay,
8 o'clock.
great.
Okay, so moving on, any other business? Is there any other business that anybody would like to bring up here?
I'd like to bring something up. With 4 new members of the board, I want to stress the importance of the community. I think that's been lost for so many years. We really should think of ourselves as one unit and stop all this animosity that's been created in the past. It's nonsense, it doesn't make any sense, it's just bull. And from now on, we should be working together with the other buildings to create an atmosphere that isn't slummy, that isn't run down, and that the whole place looks good. And to add to that, I think Craig has done a fantastic job, and we should
Yeah. With the MRC
recognize that
yes.
as members of the board. You should recognize that. If we didn't have Craig around in the last few days, we would have been in a lot of trouble, and he's been working like crazy.
Well, suffice it to say that there's no animosity here. We want to move it forward in a positive way. Let's not, hash up what was, or what you thought was. Let's talk about what we're going to move forward into. And I agree with you. These are all our neighbors and our friends. We're going to move forward in
Exactly.
the best possible way that we can, and without, we don't have
Without
to go.
anonymous letters. and without
Yeah, we don't
anonymous
need that.
things
Let's
being sent.
just be positive and
Right.
move forward. I think that's the way to
Fresh
go.
start.
Yeah, fresh start,
Fresh
new
start.
people, fresh start. Let's do that. Is that good? Any other business here?
One question, in the interim, till you get your management company and get all this organized, if we have an issue, who do we contact?
Well,
Or how
that's
do
a
we
very good
contact them?
question.
Well, right now, we had a couple, the one fellow that came up to the office yesterday when you and I
I know,
were here,
yeah.
So there have been some concerns, and we've tried to tell people that, we're in flux, and, just hold your horses, we'll get to it, we understand that little things like, the garbage. Today, we're
We had
meeting
to
and the
call
garbage,
Steve,
the
yeah.
garbage guys, the truck broke down. So, they had to send another truck out.
Right.
Well, that was handled.
Well,
Steve went ahead and called the garbage company, called the town, and they sent another truck.
You
Let's
need
not
to
get
use
too
an
far.
elevator. If something went wrong.
Right, well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if something happens, I don't want to
Exactly.
go knock
I
on the
understand what you're
doors. I only
saying.
know
Who do
where
I
you
call?
live.
Yeah, you want
It's
to
you,
know a
Robert, 'cause I
specific
don't know where these ladies
idea.
live.
Who would I call?
Yeah.
And I think, I suppose one of the board members right now is the only way you
Until-
can
yeah.
go. Yes,
Yeah,
Adrian?
we are gonna have the meeting on Thursday.
Yes, we
and
are.
we're working that out. We're kind of, they say, trying to play catch up, because we should have had the reorganization meeting apparently after we were voted in.
Correct.
And we could have